thank you for joining me in painting a new miniature today. The one I am going to be painting today is this Chimera. So the first thing that I did was spray him with Wraithbone spray, which is ideal for using contrast paints on because I will be using some contrast paints. As well, I also used a plastic putty by Vallejo to fill in cracks and crevices that were needed, as this model did have a few cracks and crevices where the glued pieces didn't quite fit together as much as I wanted. Now, this is going to be a bit different, as the first thing that I'm going to be doing on this guy is use an airbrush. Because he's a bigger model and I'd like to get his wings a beautiful I want his wings to look transparent, and I do think the airbrush will help me out there. So I'm going to do a undercoating. Basically his underbelly and under his wings are all going this one beautiful color before I start painting him normally. By normally I mean with a paintbrush. My setup's a little bit different today, but I hope it works out alright. So here it is with that pretty yellow airbrushed onto it, because I'm doing a lot of him red. First I'm going to use Citadel Contrast Paint Skeletal Horde to get all of the bone. That's right, I'm trying it with a new angle of camera. We'll see how it works. I hope you like my efforts. And everywhere that is bone and horn, other than on the dragon, is just going this skeletal horde color. Right, now I guess it's time to start on those wings. So I want to go dark towards the light. Fleshtearer's red plus Gryph-Hound Orange and Sigmar brown is what I'm thinking. So here I'll go with a drop of Fleshtearer's red, a drop of Gryph-Hound Orange, and a drop of Sigmar brown. This is so I can just figure out what I will want initially. Initially, that's furthest from the light. I want Sigmar brown. I think I'll start off with a mix of Fleshtearer red and Gryph-Hound orange, and get that on there. So I decided to go red matte because a dragon that breathes fire and is evil is red to my Dungeons & Dragons player's mind. And red's a very lovely color for wings. So That was my thought process. Now I'm just grabbing a Sigor brown. And while the red and orange mix is very wet, just add a little bit of that Sigor brown to the ridges. Now I'm just taking the orange that's been tinted mildly with red. And grabbing some technical contrast medium. Just some tissue, or paper towel. This one is the Contrast Iyanden Yellow. I don't know, sometimes your finger works best. Just using more of that yellow, basically working at it with the yellow and the red until I get it what I want it to look like. Just using all of these colors to combine until I get the look I want, really. including the contrast medium to keep everything wet on the miniature and not too dark. Alright, guess we should leave that one to dry. And I'm going to do the same on the next one. Alright, and there's the other wing. It's looking a bit less red as it's drying, so I'll probably have to go over it with some sort of red, but that is what it looks like at the moment. And now we want to finish getting the red of the dragon's head. So basically it's going to be, and then of course I'll get the underbelly as well, which will be basically the exact same as the top. So this one we're going to do, on top I'm just going to go dark red, I decided. Did a bit of yellow previously, but I think I just want red. Red. And then in that area where he's, you know, breathing in to blow fire, we'll make it similar to this. And the wings will bring it out. Bring it out to an orange and yellowy look. But otherwise, this guy is going to be dark red. Thus far, I've got the wings done to the point that I'm happy with. Looks like I missed a couple of those that I need to hit with the skeletal horde, but I'll probably have to fix it up a little bit anyway. And here are the bottom parts of the wing for the time being. Alright, now the next thing to do, I think I'll do their teeth, his teeth later, his teeth and mouth later. The next thing I have to do is figure out the color scheme for the next one. So we've got a bird, eagle-like, even though he's got ears, eagle-ish creature, and a beast with a weird tongue. Now I think there should be perhaps a bluish and a greenish, so let's go maybe with a grey-blue for the bird and a grey-green for the beast, perhaps. Agaros Dunes and if that contrast paint isn't pooling the way I want it to, I'll just move it to where I want it to be, all while it's wet. Now, while it's still wet, let's move to the Ultramarines blue. We don't want to touch the his beak. We really just want it to the paint, the contrast paint will spread out by itself, so it'll do the blending for us as long as they're both wet. So I don't need to, I'm not worrying about mixing it. Now this blue is a bit more blue than I intended, so I'm going to go right and mix it with Black Templar. So grab some Black Templar and some Ultramarines blue, give it a mix, and then change that so it's less bright blue and more gray blue. And because I want to change it, and underneath it's going to be more towards just on the underside where there'd be more shadow. It's basically, there is Ultramarines blue on my brush, but for the most part it's just Black Templar, because the blue is going to go a long way. Going to skip over his eye, that white spot there, skipping over it. Yes, I think I like it where it's mostly probably 3-to-1 Black Templar to Ultramarines blue. That's the color that I decided on. Except for on the very top, I'll let it get more blue, just to give it some highlighting. But the majority of it is going to be mostly Black Templar with some blue. And where the dragon is dried, it's not going to mix the same way, so parts that are combined, I'm going to just use some water to make that more of a smooth transition. Alright, so still quite wet, but here he is. Getting blue. As you can see, I haven't gone further down. I still haven't fully decided how I want this. I'm thinking I might go a lighter color, but I'm not sure yet, so I'm leaving it to the side at the end. His back here is quite dragonish, so I might continue that red and orange color. We shall see. Now, time to do Mr. Beastie. Now, he's not going to be bright green, more like a grayish or brownish green. So, we're going to do 50-50 Militarum Green and Wildwood. And much as I did the blue, this mix of browny green is going to be towards the top, and then the Sigor brown is going to come towards the bottom. Oh no! Okay, this is too brown. So let's use that mix bit. What do I want? Now, too brown. The Wildwood took over the Militarum Green. So, just gonna do Militarum Green all over him with, oh, looks like there's a thing there, yeah. Alright, so now I'm actually using just Militarum Green with that, with a bit of the Wildwood in my brush. So putting on Sigor Brown on the bottom, and then grabbing, yeah, looks like the browns are much stronger than this Militarum Green, so I'm going to really do probably 5-to-1 ratio of the Militarum Green to either one of the browns. But it is fur, so I'm not particularly concerned if there are patches of more brown than green. It's all good. Looks as it's drying, it's becoming more green too. Okay, now this next thing we have to decide is what to... Yeah, we'll continue this red on the back here because that is what the dragon is like. So, let's start with the even mix of Sigor Brown and Fleshtearer's Red for this back part. I did say I was going to do one side over the other, but I really do need it to wet blend. So I'm gonna have to try and do it all at once. Just gotta be fast. Anything with those scaly little bits that were dragon-esque is what I'm pushing towards the red and brown mix. Now I'm doing a Sigor Brown and Ultramarines blue mix. Oh no, that was Wildwood. Sorry, that was a Ultramarines and blue and a Wildwood mix. And so I can do it on this side. So we've got Sigor Brown, Blood Angels Red, Sigor Brown, sorry, Fleshtearer's Red, and Militarum Green. So mixing those three together with mostly Militarum Green. Yes, I think so. I think I've decided that I am going to go black. Well, it's not actually black. It's a mix of Sigor Brown and Ultramarines blue on this side with a bit of the Fleshtearer's Red. But it's going to look black to the eye. So I'm afraid, sadly, my underbelly went away, and the black that I'm using is a mixture, even mix actually, of Ultramarines blue and Sigor Brown. But as I get to the original colors, I turn it towards the color it originally was. So as it approaches the red, mix it into the red. As it approaches the green, I'll mix in some green. I think up his tail it's going to go that black, but as it approaches this snake, I think I'm going to turn it more blue, so it's leaving the red of the dragon, turning blue. And let's try this Pterodon turquoise. Just to give the snake something a little bit different. I think I'll just do the back paws with a bit of Sigor Brown, but mostly the Fleshtearer's Red. Alright, now we just need to get these paws, and I think I'm going to bring the green down into them on this side. I'm doing his little underpaws red. I mean, they could look like they're dragons, or they could look like they're full of blood. Well, either or work for me. Anywhere it pools too much, I'm just taking that off. And now the ultramarine blue on his arm. Let's see, there's a bit of green in there. I'm just using a bit of green because it looks so blue. There, I want it to grey out a bit, and green will do that in this case. Right, so now it's dried. And it's looking pretty good to me. Though I think I need more green here. Too much brown and red here, so I'm going to add some more green. And how I'm going to do that is the same way that I'm going to fix all of the horns that may have gotten a bit too much paint on them. All of these guys that might not be as tidily painted anymore as I would have once. Come to think of it, I probably shouldn't have painted them first at all. But, oh well, I do like how they helped me get a good idea of what the wings would look like. So I'm going to clear this up a bit, as well as any of the spikes that need to be cleaned up. I'm going to use this Wraithbone and just put a layer of Wraithbone over top any of the mistakes so I can redo them. And the Wraithbone, as you'll see, covers it up really nicely, and I don't think you necessarily need to use only Wraithbone for when you want to use contrast paints. I do think it's really nice base to cover up any mistakes because it's so good at covering. So, and over top the parts that I want to be green again, I'm just dotting it. And I'm actually quite content with that just as it is. If I think it needs another layer, I'll put another layer on. Perhaps up here. But I'm satisfied with that just as is. And now I'll go back and do see that one there got a bit too much red, so just Wraithbone it up. Alright, now just taking out my fine detail brush, my Klinsky Masterclass, and I'm just making certain that their eyes are white, so I can color them. Right, I think I got all of those itty bits and bobs. And then now I'll just fix up all the horns and whatnot that was originally done in Skeletal Horde. And at the same time, I think I will be getting the dragon's teeth with the Skeleton Horde as well. And the beastie's teeth with Skeleton Horde. and we'll get his mouth at the same time. I'm thinking it'll just be a mix of skeleton horde, wildwood, and militarum green. Mostly skeleton horde, a little bit of wildwood and militarum green for around those lips. Inside his mouth will be skeletal horde and blood terrors red. That tongue, teeny bit of Ultramarines blue to make it a bit more purple than red. And getting all of his gums. That skeleton horde purple reddish mix. Alright. So his side has been fixed up a bit to have more green in it. Still a bit wet there, so you probably can't see that well. I also finished putting the skeleton horde on all of their teeth and doing that skeleton horde and blood terrors red mix inside each of their mouths, including the snake's mouth. And I also took a small amount of dark oath flesh, and where the skeleton horde meets the other flesh, right there, just a little bit of it, I went around each one with a bit of dark oath flesh, just a little ring where the skeleton horde meets the other flesh to bring it together better, I think. The dragon will have bright yellow eyes. I mean, I could bring them all together and have them all with the same color glowing eyes. Maybe that's what I'll do. Got my small dry brush here. I think the first thing I'll do is dry brush all of these claws. Yes, I think I like that. So just my yellow mix works best, I think. And I'm only doing the tips of all of these guys. Only the top tips. I won't bother to get anything that's pointing downward. Now I'm going to dry brush the green with a mix of Elysian Green and my yellow. So I just used the dry brush to bring the yellow down here, and then I used the dry brush a bit of stippling to make it look like there was a bit of fur going on there. And then I just blended that together with some Elysian Green. Sorry, the militarum green. See, just some stippling will make the appearance of some fur continuing down his side. Alright, so that's that dry brush, and now the blue dry brushed. I think some Thunderhawk blue would do the trick. just here and there where I think it will amplify the look. This is a very mild change. Making certain to get the belly to emphasize the blue there. And a little bit of the dragon wing to emphasize the transition. And I think also on the tail. And on the head. Just brings up the color a little bit. And then I think for just to bring up the little bumps all over the dragon part, I'm going to dry base Mephiston Red. Dry brush Mephiston Red. And that really is just scooting over the red bumps on the dragon. You know, his spikes sticking up. Alright, so I think I'm just about done then. There are other things I guess I could do to it, but I'm happy with where it is now, and I think I'll be doing a separate video about making his base, because I'm not going to do just I'm not going to slap on just a texture base and call it done. I'm going to ump up this base with something. I think I'll do that in a different video. Thank you for joining painting with me. I hope you enjoyed yours as much as I enjoyed mine. I do enjoy painting up big monsters. And I'll be putting out a video for how to paint or do this base. So check that out if you want to see that. I think it'll just be a, not really a paint with me, just a, here's how I did this base. Ta-da! If you liked the video, please give us a like, and if you'd like to see more paint with me's and other Wargaming material, subscribe to our channel and hit that bell notification so you can find out as soon as we put out our next video. Until next time, bye!